another two-time Canadian and world champion. Ed Wernick, the wrench, is back. From Northern Ontario, the Iceman cometh again. Al Hackner is together again with his longtime third, Rick Lang. The winner of the 1991 Brier, Kevin Martin, from the Otwell Curling Club in Edmonton, represents Alberta. And the winner of the Brier, the last time it was here in Halifax, in 1981, Carrie Burtnick, is back from Manitoba. Question is, whose ship will come in 7 days? Welcome to Halifax in the 1995 Canadian Men's Curling Championship, better known to all of us as the Labatt Brier. He's back. Ed Wernick returns, looking for his third national championship. Ed Wernick, in his 9th Brier appearance, and despite being 47 and the oldest skip here, he can still make all the shots. Ed Wernick, truly one of the characters of this game they call curling. Ed Wernick, the wrench, is back again, and he'll try to wrestle a title from one of the best fields in Brier history. Everyone says it's just a matter of time until Robert Campbell from PEI finally breaks through. He knows all about Wernick all too well. This is the final of a McCain Super Spiel. He had this race to the 4-foot. It would come up just a little short, and Wernick would steal the win and leave Campbell heartbroken. Robert Campbell, his third Brier, trying to do what no PEI team has ever done before, and that is win a Canadian championship. And what a field it is. The reigning Canadian and world champion Rick Folk from BC is back. Other winners: Martin, Wernick, Hackner, Burtnick. Robert Andrews is back from a second straight year from the Yukon Northwest Territories. Bill Jenkins, a former Canadian world junior champion, while Bruce Lonis, he'll carry the colors of Nova Scotia. So it is Wernick Campbell, Ontario against PEI in the opening round. The Metro Center in Halifax and TSN's opening round coverage of this 1995 Labatt Brier. However, before we go on, may we, on behalf of TSN, offer our congratulations to Connie Laliberty and Manitoba on winning last week's Scott Tournament of Hearts with that thrilling last end stone to beat Kathy Borst in Alberta. And of course, we will see you in Brandon at the Ford World Curling Championships. Well, they're calling this the best field in Brier history, and for good reason. Look at the numbers alone. Of the 48 curlers participating, 28 have prior Brier experience. 14 have won at least one championship. And when you add them all up, there are at least 23 Brier titles on the ice. And then there are some 23 world championships thrown in as well. Look at the names: Folk, Martin, Hackner, Burtnick, Wernick. I don't envy you, Ray. Who are you going to pick as a winner?
Thanks a lot, Victor. Kreskin couldn't pick a winner out of this group. It's unbelievable talent. You've mentioned the obvious, but what about the not so obvious, the thirds? Here's Pat Ryan with Rick Folk, Canadian and world champion. What more can I say? As a skip and a third, Kevin Martin and Kevin Park back together again. A great combination in the past. They look solid, solid, solid. Remember this guy, Mark Dacey, in our skins game as a skip? Here is a third. Jeff Ryan playing for Carrie Burtnick. No Brier experience, but brother of Pat. What breeding. And Rick Lang. What more can you say about Rick Lang? About to step or possibly step into the record book. 3-time Canadian champion. And Mr. Silk himself, John Kawaja with Eddie Wernick. I mean, this is talented like I've never seen before. One of the things I think that's going to happen here is that there's so much talent on the back end with the skips and the thirds that the big difference will be in the front end with the leads and the seconds. That lead that gets that 6-inch to 8-inch area in front of the rings down pat, and that top 4-foot and top 8-foot is going to make the difference. The front end will decide who's going to win this event. Linda, that Robert Campbell has his hands full today, doesn't he?
He sure does. What a group. What a field we have here. But for Robert Campbell, the key is, can he get off to a better start this year than in his last two appearances? 1991 and 1993 he played well, but lost his first 3 games and didn't get it back on track soon enough. This year he faces first of all Ontario's Ed Wernick, then Kerry Burtnick of Manitoba, former Canadian champion, and another champion, Kevin Martin of Alberta. So he's got to get it going early. Ed Wernick is the master of draw, weight, and come-arounds. He's got a great team. Neil Harrison knows more about rocks and ice than anyone I know. But the ice may be a factor today. It's a little heavy and quite straight. So, Vic, for Robert Campbell, the ice may be an equalizer.
Well, let's hope, Linda, that the ice does turn out to be as good, if not better, if it can be, than what we had a week ago in Calgary. It would be a shame to see all this talent here, the best field ever at Labatt Brier, hindered by poor ice conditions. We are in Halifax for the 1995 Labatt Brier, and the reigning Canadian and world champions brought the Labatt Tankard into the Metro Centre. Rick Folk and his team from Kelowna. That's what we're playing for, the Canadian Men's Curling Championship. And our first draw, Ontario against PEI, comes your way when we come back to Halifax. Metro Centre in Halifax, TSN's opening day, opening round coverage of this 1995 Labatt Brier. And Linda talked about the ice, Ray. How straight is it? How heavy is it?
Well, it's going to be a concern. We just came off of the ice in Calgary, which was fantastic with lots of finish, but unfortunately it looks like right now it's not finishing here. For example, if you're to hit a stone in any area of the ice, any area here, whether it be inside or outside, you'll be taking right on the edge of the stone. Lots of straight lines if you're throwing the weight. When you go around, for example, around that center guard, about the middle of the 4-foot, if it will finish, and we're not sure, we'll have to watch closely, but very little swing. The same thing going outside to get around those corner guards. It'll come down, hold, and then swing about 1.5 feet. That's about all. So to get behind the guards, it's difficult. The big concern is the weight from this hog line to this tee line. They've been timing this morning at about 20.5. It may go to 22. Very tough ice. What it does, it takes away those quiet tap-back shots, those quiet come-around shots. Unfortunately, hopefully it changes as we go through the week, Vic, but it's a little concern now, and all the players are, it's an equalizer, as Linda so appropriately put.
There are our two skips. Robert Campbell on the left against the 47-year-old oldest skip here. Who cares? He can still do all the shots. Let's meet Ontario from the Avonlea Curling Club. On the left is Ed Wernick, the third John Kawaja, the second Pat Perot, and the lead is Neil Harrison from the Avonlea Curling Club in Don Mills, Ontario. Representing Prince Edward Island from the Charlottetown Curling Club, Robert Campbell is their skip. Peter Gallant is the third. The second is Mark O'Rourke, and the lead is Mark Butler. So those are our two teams in the opening round of this Labatt Brier. Let's take a look at the other games on the ice. Quebec will play Saskatchewan. Steve Gagnon against Brad Height. Ontario against Prince Edward Island. And in the two other games, it's Manitoba against Nova Scotia, Burtnick against Lonis. Northern Ontario, Hackner will play McPherson of Riverside in St. John. The byes belong to British Columbia, Alberta, Newfoundland, the Yukon Northwest Territories. Now, if you were with us throughout our coverage of the Scott Tournament of Hearts, you know that last rock is already predetermined. Red Stones have last rock, so in this first end, the hammer belongs to Ontario playing Red Stones. And to get us going, first round here of this Labatt Brier, this is the PEI lead, Mark Butler.
Well, Linda, you said it in the key here is to roll away, get away from that spot. You don't want to sit there.
The 1987 Canadian mixed champion, Peter Gallant.
This is the shot that sets up this end for them, trying for their two.
Oh! Yeah, hurry on! Hurry! All the way up!
Well, we obviously would like to hung on the 12-foot, but that's better than sitting there, Linda.
I didn't throw it out.
Huh?
If anything, I was tight with it.
Yeah, that's good.
Now, the line on that Kevin Parkstone wasn't perfect, but we have to remember it was a tiny bit heavy, and it's only as the rock is slowing where it really curls in behind that guard.
Kevin Martin and the first stone for the Alberta skip here in this second end. They've blanked the first. PEI has last rock.
Whoa. Okay, whoa then. Whoa. Whoa. Clear the T line. Over there. There. Whoa. Whoa.
Stop! Hard!
Wait would have been okay.
Hard! Hard!
We did have some play. I'd like to make throw normal, make sure we get it over there, but well, it should be fine
It's not that bad there. As long as you don't beak it, eh?
Ran though. If we hit and roll, we're still getting there too.
Okay, low?
Yeah.
You heard what Robert said, as long as we don't beak it. In other words, as long as we don't hit it right in the nose.
Wow.
That would, of course, set up a pocket for Kevin Martin to draw to.
Pretty well normal down here, eh?
Wow.
Let's wait.
Wow. 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 Hip.
That's a
Perfect
great
roll,
shot,
yes.
yeah.
Kevin Martin will hit that and concede 2 points, or a draw for 2 points. This is something for young critters to learn too. And here's a situation where Kevin Martin is going to hit the second shot rock. There's no way he can be shot rock, and so in other words, he's conceding a draw to PEI for the extra point.
The draw to the one that is shot stone is very dangerous. We've seen that now with 2 of the Alberta attempts to draw into the face of it, and if they ever did that again, of course, PEI would have the shot for 3.
What you're doing with this shot, obviously saying, okay, I'll give you the 2, but I'm not going to give you 3, and then maybe, who knows, you might miss your draw.
Kevin owns Kevin's Curling Supplies in Edmonton, as well as runs the Devon Child Care Center along with his wife Shauna.
Choice for Robert is to hit that for 2 or draw to the 8-foot.
What would you do, Linda? Would you hit or draw?
Well, normally you wouldn't even think about it. You'd draw. There has been some thought this last few days, so with the ice being a little bit tricky for weight, Robert has decided to play the draw. He's got the good part of the rings. He's seen a number of rocks come down in the same spot, so he should have a good feel for the weight.
PEI Photo Lab is where Robert Campbell is employed.
Easy. A little wider. Piece to 4. Easy.
Easy.
Not moving.
Easy.
Nice weight. Red.
So a good start after the blank for Robert Campbell. He picks up his deuce. Martin and Alberta will have the last rock when we come back.
Protector, a razor so sharp it has to be kept behind bars. Protective guard wires ensure that while the shave is close, there is no safer wet shave. Protector, only from Wilkinson Sword.
Maybe it's because their frames are welded instead of bolted. Or because their decks are stamped from a single piece of steel.
Oh, you guys.
Or maybe it's the fact that they have a high resale value.
Oh, hey, I always wanted one of these. Thanks.
But the truth is, when people are asked what kind of long tractor they'd like as a gift,
Happy birthday, Dad.
most say the same thing.
Out on the ice, I don't score points for how my hair looks. But after the game, in front of the press, when the cameras are just inches away and millions of fans are watching, my hair has to look great, and great hair can't have flakes. No way. So I get rid of them with Head & Shoulders. Keeps my dandruff in check and my hair looking great. Hey, you can't hide under a helmet all the time.
Head & Shoulders, every day.
With great hair, can't have flakes.
Arsenic, cyanide, mercury, lead, ammonia, tar, nicotine. Cigarette smoke is a lethal brew of over 4,000 chemicals. And it kills 40,000 Canadians every year.
Third boxcar, midnight train. Destination, Bang. I'm up there on the means.
The copper top tops them all.
King of the road.
An update for you now from the game between Quebec and New Brunswick. 5th round, Labatt Brier, second end. 2-0 Quebec leading. Final stone for New Brunswick's Brian McPherson from the Riverside in St. John with a record of 0-2 coming in. Makes the hit and gets the inside roll, sits top 8, and he'll pick up his single. So Quebec leading 2-1. They have last rock back. That's the team from Jean-Pierre. Newfoundland against Saskatchewan. Second end, Saskatchewan, Brad Height. He stole 4 to open. Newfoundland's Bill Jenkins gets himself right back into it here. This is an open draw for 3. Top 12, back 8, and this one he'll put in the 4-foot. 3 for Newfoundland, looking for their first win. Saskatchewan will have last rock. Now an update for you. Nova Scotia against Northern Ontario. Al Hackner opened with a single in the first final stone for Bruce Slonis from Truro. And he's just going to throw this one through because he can't add to what he's already got. That's the yellow that Rick Lang taps, top 4. And so they'll pick up a single. And after 2, they're tied 1-1. Hackner will have last rock back. And there you see the Alberta team, 1991, Kevin Martin, Kevin Park, Dan Petrick, and Don Bartlett won the 91 Labatt Brier in Hamilton, Ontario, and they're back now again here in 95 in Halifax. Alberta to have last stone here in the 3rd.
You see a lot of ends develop this way. The first stone of the end comes into the rings. PEI picking up that 2 last end. Want to keep things pretty simple, so they bring it right in. Second rock of the end is the aggressor in this case, trying to get something going. Alberta putting up the corner guard, and now the center line guard trying to protect that rock in the rings is played. Now it's up to Alberta to try and get into the 4-foot area.
Don Bartlett, the 34-year-old native of Gander, Newfoundland, always says, make sure you say hello, everyone. All my relatives back in Newfoundland, so we have.
Wow. It's good.
And we're supposed to say hello to the Carroll Curling Club in Labrador City as well. Sue Ann Bartlett.
Wow, still might get through. We're there. Wow. Nope.
Ooh.
Here's the hair headed. That would be better if it hadn't touched it, Linda, because it kind of bounced it out into the open, and a chance for Ford. Robert Campbell to get Mark O'Rourke to go through the hole. This is the kind of shot, you make a few of these shots, and really keep the pressure, as you mentioned earlier, off your skip. You know, it's
Whoa, gone.
Mark O'Rourke.
James Paul will play the board weight shot as well, try and come through and get rid of those red stones.
Hard! Real quiet.
He got to the center line really early.
It's very light.
Hard! Hard! Still by. Hard!
Ooh.
They call board weight, that's
Fairly
maybe
hack,
hack. Yeah.
Yeah, a little late.
The worst possible thing happened to it. It kicked it out of the hole.
Put it right behind the guard, right in front of the shot stone, and now PEI can really put something in the middle of that hole and make it very tough on Kevin Martin.
Well, skipping is really very difficult now. It was always difficult, but it's more difficult now that they play the free-guard zone. Every end there's rocks in play. Every end you're concentrating. Every end you're trying to set a rock up to play another shot. So
it's good.
The skips and thirds in these events now come out of these games totally mentally exhausted.
Where is it?
And to tax you mentally, here we have our first clue. Labatt Brier puzzle. He has been a runner-up at the Brier. Well, we've seen that clue a few times. Just applies to different people. James Paul, his second stone, the Alberta second, looks to open it up and catches one of the stones at the edge of the floor. It left the shooter covering that centerline stone. You consider, Linda, that a half shot, or is that no shot at all?
No, it's not that bad a shot. They got the one off the 4 foot. The only thing about playing Alberta, it looks like those guards out in front are pretty good for PEI, but they are yellow. And if there's one team where you hate to leave them the long angle raises, it's Kevin Martin. He won his provincial against Ed Lukowich, making a double raise at an angle to get into the 4 foot. Don Bartlett was saying to me he thinks Kevin Park and Kevin Martin are the best at angles and that they love those raises.
Wait. That line. It's out there. Yep. Yep. Hurry.
They could just tuck this around that Yellowstone a little bit and that would take that raise away from them, and that's kind of the purpose. Now you'll see that they'll walk up and play the
intern,
the straight run back.
Almost right on the nose will do it. Let's get some action. Hurry! Hold!
Well, you just talked about it, Linda.
He wanted some action, and he got it.
That's a great shot. There was a lot of distance between the stone he had to raise and the one in the rings. That makes the angles tough.
Great shot.
They just make it look so easy every time we see them play. And now the front of the 4 foot area is protected by yellow stones.
This is out quite a bit further. Be interesting to see if it moves at all, Linda.
Wait!
They're out on the edge of the 8 foot.
Wait! Where is it?
A little heavier out there.
Coming now! Wait!
Great line if they get it. They got the weight to get it there. That's a wonderful shot.
Into the top of the 8, Peter Gallant.
That was a very, very nice throwing shot. He had to go out to the edge of the 8 foot.
And, you know, sometimes after watching the opponent make those big shots, those raises, you get down a little bit. That's a great shot.
right there.
Peter Gallant came back with a big one for his skip.
Probably the same where I threw that.
Yeah.
I threw a little bit more than I threw going up there. There's not much room over the hog line to get one there last shot.
Just hoping you have the weight and
get a corner around at the end.
A little bit of curl at the end, yeah.
He is sure finishing the end there.
We hear Kevin Parkland to say his really finished at the end, and so they're taking note of that as well.
You have to have the perfect weight to get it to do that, though, and Peter Gallant did. Let his brushers take it at the end to get it to tuck around.
22 is what he said he threw.
All right, Paul, whoa. Clean, off. Whoa.
Well, we'll have a look at the hog line. He's playing a raise, so it'll be a little bit stronger than normal draw. Should be pretty good, but the angle's not quite right for them.
Nice shot.
Well, there's a hole here anyway. A couple of nice shots, Kevin.
What do you mean? No.
Through the port's not there.
No, but he's going to tap that with the intern if nothing was played now. Do you think we got to cut this yellow one out?
I think so. I think that's all he has.
Raise, yeah.
How do we do that?
You want to throw that?
Just trying to drop it over the hog line?
Well, even if you stagger that,
Okay.
How's that?
Should be close. You don't need any more.
Just going to try and cover the hole. You heard the comments. Robert told us exactly where he wanted it. Even if I just drop it over the hog line, he said it's fine. That was a
throw the guard up. What? We're trying to play it short of it. It's not a lot of room to work with, is it?
Whereabouts?
Huh?
Where do you want it?
Well, we want to cut it off just so we don't have much room. We don't have much room if we tick either.
Well, you want to play it here?
Okay.
Hope you had your vitamins, boys.
Nice warning to the
normal down here, though.
Front end of Mark Butler and Mark O'Rourke.
Just over? Okay, line's okay. Just over. Just over, no more. Whoa. Easy. Whoa.
Where is it? There are all kinds of room.
It would appear to curl much more than they thought.
Don't mind that.
Yeah, they wanted it over about 6 or 8 inches.
What kind of weight are you looking at? Almost like normal. Right here? Yeah, right there. Almost right down the handle. Hey? Yeah. Right down the handle. You're close. All right. Turn do you want to go with? Almost have to go in turn.
This shot here, onto this one here.
I don't think that out-turn will go through that hole.
Right in behind Kevin is the shot.
I got a double field these days. Wow, clean.
Across. Red onto yellow, yellow onto red.
Wow.
There's one, there's two, there's the shot.
My goodness. Now will it hang around? It does. They're suddenly
Line
two.
Well, it begins to get a bit scary because they've made two fantastic shots this end, both off raises. That was a double combination, and they got a bit of spin to roll it right over in front of the PEI stone. What a great shot by Kevin Martin.
Jammer. Must just picking it, eh? Must be. Can we split that yellow? we could.
Try this, Bach.
Might be worth it. Get rid of it.
Well, we're trying to stay. Right in the beak, get rid of it.
Just gotta be careful not to jam it. You heard him say you might hit it right on the beak.
Clean. Up. Rocky, go on it. Shot.
Like one. We could run it right into ours and only get one.
How we gotta bump it up? Well, the shooter's bound to roll for a second.
Well,
So you think if you ran it right into ours, the shooter would have to roll for second. Well, you want to try it, or? Yeah, we'll make sure of the two. Yeah. Depends on the weight, I guess.
what Kevin was saying is
We'll
that
make sure of the two. I don't
hit
want to
this
be
here,
heavier again.
drive that
Throw
one
draw
into that
weight.
one there into the rings, and the shooter may roll here to get 3. But he said you got to be careful, make sure we get 2. He wants, even if he hits it on the nose.
So what he's saying is rather than playing the extra weight that you might play to try and pump that one in and roll in, you're going to play draw weight, make sure you get the 2. If you happen to hit it right, you might get 3.
Straight draw? Straight draw. Yeah. Good boy. Okay.
Boy.
2 yellow.
That extra weight, and it just hung so straight and stops back 4 for his 2 yellow, and a tie game after 3 ends. So Shide continues to be very tricky here in this 5th round of the Labatt Brier. Now we go live to the final stone, Northern Ontario, Nova Scotia, as they play in the 3rd of a 1-1 tie. This is the final stone for Al Hackner. Looking with a little chip if he can pick this stone out and hold a shooter, maybe get 3. He does. 3 for Northern Ontario in the 3rd end, and Al Hackner, who lost in the 4th round to Saskatchewan, comes into this 5th round with a record of 1-1. Still more to come from our coverage of the 5th round of this 1995 Labatt Brier from the Metro Center in Halifax.
The 1995 Labatt Brier from Halifax, Nova Scotia is brought to you in part by CIBC Insurance, Unitel, quality long distance for less, and by Ford of Canada.
Excel's unique cooling sensation freshens your breath a long time. Don't just freshen your breath, accelerate it with long-lasting Excel sugar-free gum.
Introducing the Dremel Moto Tool. You cut, we cut. You sharpen, we sharpen. You polish, we polish. You drill, we drill. You clean, we clean. You sand, we sand. You grind, we grind. You hammer. Did I mention we cut? The Dremel Moto Tool. With more than 150 available accessories, why settle for some 2-bit power tool?
We've made history on Canadian roads for years. Now we're looking to the future. Introducing the new Ford Explorer. The only leading sport utility with standard dual airbags. The one with the roomiest interior. The only one with Control Track, which provides 4-wheel drive traction automatically. The new Ford Explorer. Far and away the best the world has to offer.
Face it, shaving is a pain. It strips away the skin's moisture, leaving it hot, dry, and burning. But now there's proof you can take the heat out of shaving. Introducing Sensitive from Old Spice. It's the one with cooling sensates, an invigorating blast of real refreshment that cools skin scorched by shaving. Prove it to yourself. Try new Sensitive from Old Spice. It's more than a great scent. This is a cooling blast of real refreshment that takes the heat out of shaving.
Updating the game between Quebec and New Brunswick as they play the third. You see it's 2-1 Quebec. This the final stone for Steve Gagnon, the rookie skip from the Kenogami Curling Club. That's in Jonquière. Makes the hit and gets the inside roll to pick up his single in the third. And Quebec, with a record of 1-1, take a 3-1 lead now on New Brunswick. Brian McPherson at 0-2. Kevin Martin's wife, that's Sean on the left. Kevin Park's wife, Linda, on the right. And of course, we know who they're supporting. Alberta, as we go to the fourth end of a 2-2 tie in Prince Edward Island with last round.
Well, I tell you, Linda, that's as good a running game as you'll ever see. I mean, we saw 3 absolutely sensational raised takeouts, raised splits. It looked like PEI really had them in deep trouble in that end, and they just found a way by lining up the angles and running off the front, and were patient in doing so. It just, look at this, it's just a great shot. Called it and made it perfectly. He said it's just a peel. It's more than just a peel. Catches the back one. A great draw by Peter Gallant, goes right out the window. 2 points.
They even rolled to a position where PEI basically had to almost concede the 2. They had to make sure they get rid of that 1, and Kevin Martin had the draw.
Yep. Okay, Biff. That's fine. Good shot.
Normal hit.
James Paul, the auto partsman for Fort Ignition, said he and his dad had another good season drag racing with their 66 Dodge Coronet up Edmonton way. Actually won an event one weekend.
What? Shot.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, do you think that that last end maybe dictates the call this end, Ray? Peter Campbell is running off the front. Of course, the front belonging to Alberta, trying to get his stones sitting up there so that if anything's going to be raised in, it's going to be his rocks.
Well, they're really hard to get around. Peter Gallant got around, made a great come around going the other way last end, but there's no question you like to have your own stones, especially if they're short and tight like that, Linda. So.
Wait. Hurry.
Eddie Lugudge told me last week or a couple of weeks ago at our WCT meeting that the series of games that Kevin Martin put together through the round robin in their provincial playdowns was the best curling he's ever seen one individual do in his entire life. He said Kevin just played so fantastic throughout the round robin play, and he said, you know, I did get a chance in the final maybe to have a chance to beat him, but it was a great shot. And so, as disappointed as I am, you kind of got to concede the fact that you know, they just made everything.
5-4 was the final in that Alberta provincial tankard. Martin winning over at Lugudge.
But they'll get a chance again to meet each other in the World Curling Tour Championships, possibly in Selkirk this year. So.
Roll in. There's no problem. Down normal. Stay close. No. Shot, Kev.
Kevin Park.
Shot.
Well, those rocks are pretty tight, and I don't blame Robert for hitting them. And Kevin certainly isn't going to go behind the corner, that's for sure, without last rock. So Robert will hit this and try and roll to the corner.
That's right. At the beginning of the end, they were putting up guards, but of course, as soon as they're not in the position they want them in, both teams going after the ones in front, trying to get them back into a better position for their team. If things don't work out, PEI will hope to blank this in and keep that last rock advantage.
Yeah. Ball. 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 Sorry.
It's the fourth end, and it's all tied. 2-2, Prince Edward Island, Alberta, and the team from PEI with last rock. Kevin Park.
Well, they're close to the sides, but they're still corner guards, and they're not in a bad position. They're sort of overlapping each other. So they'd be tough. You can't drive them back on the one that's in the ring. So Peter Galland will try and put another one behind cover this end.
Got line. Got line. Wait. Wait only. Oh. What? Line's good. Oh, line. Again. Stay with it. Yep. Yep. Oh. Yep. Hard. Yep. Whoa.
See all of it. I see. Yeah, I see all of it. 7, 8.
Shot here.
That was a terrific shot by Peter. That's two good come-arounds. You can see a quarter of it, but it's still a delicate little hit.
The first stone for the Alberta skip. Kevin Martin here in the fourth.
Yep. Clean, hurry. Whoa, clean. Whoa. Whoa, off. Whoa. Okay.
The thing I think you notice about Kevin Martin and Kevin Park this time around, as opposed to last time around, is not only are they working better together, they seem to be enjoying the game more, seem to be having more fun at it. And they were, you know, and I think it's something that just basically comes with maturity. It doesn't mean that, you know, when you're young and you're, you know, you win like that, you're very, you're very intense, I should say. And
Last guy sure dumped it.
He slid outside. He hooked it big time. Looks like it'll go away from the line pretty good.
well, once more an attempt to try and tuck one behind here.
This time it's Robert Campbell with his first.
Hard! Quick! Straight up! All the way in.
Well, he really had to try to play it that fine, too, to try and get it there. It's perfect weight. It just...
That intern looks like it. No, it's going early. Wave's perfect. That's just the top tee.
Final stone for the 1985 Canadian Junior champions, Kevin Martin.
Your way.
Throw that out for him. Yeah. Firm. Make right there.
Yeah.
Looking for the blank, so Robert Campbell will play the shot where the shooter doesn't have as far to roll. People may notice that Robert Campbell looks down when he's throwing. He's actually a bit of a spot curler. Although the broom is down there, what happens is he gets in the hack and he visualizes a line from the hack to the target broom. And then you'll watch as he's coming out, he will put his eyes down, and that's actually the spot he has chosen in that line that he has visualized to aim at. Right there, the line goes down, eyes back up, on target.
Whoa! 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 Ah!
Yeah, that's hit first.
Check the spot. Steal of one, Alberta. They lead 3-2.
Rust. What it can do to the outside of your car. Weak, neglected antifreeze can do to the inside. You need the tough anti-corrosion formula of Prestone. Use fresh Prestone every year to give your radiator and cooling system heavy-duty rust and corrosion protection. No matter what happens to the outside, Prestone protects the inside. Prestone stops the rust that stops your car.
Look for Prestone Defroster to help remove frost from car windshields, wipers, and mirrors.
As the thermometer drops, dangerous crystals can form in your car's engine, threatening to shorten its life. That's why today's Quaker State has engineered intelligent oil. Oil that senses the changing threats in your engine and adapts its own molecular structure for continuous protection. Whenever the driving conditions change, so does Quaker State, the intelligent oil for longer engine life.
Personal computers. Everybody wants one or already has one, but how long does it take to get up and running? Too long if you're reading manuals and too expensive if you take classroom courses. Here's the perfect solution. Introducing the #1 video teacher for computers. The fast, easy way to learn how to use a computer. You get a detailed introduction to the PC and professional instruction on the most popular programs like Windows 3.1 and Excel. With the #1 video teacher, you'll learn the easy way. No fancy words or jargon, and you can learn at your own pace. Call now and get this valuable instructional video for this incredibly low price. But that's not all. We'll also send you a second video. You'll learn MS Word for Windows, QuickBooks, and WordPerfect for Windows too. Now the computer skills demanded by today's top employers are at your command. So why pay over $75 for other instructional videos? You can learn everything you need to know with the #1 video teacher. You get 6 valuable programs, over 4.5 hours of professional instruction for just $24.95. That's 2 videos for the price of 1. Call and get started today with the #1 video teacher for computers. Order now.
Between Newfoundland and Saskatchewan as they play in the 4th. Final stone for Bill Jenkins from St. John's. 0-2 coming in. Forced to draw against a couple of counters, and he'll be there for his single point. Newfoundland within 1. Trailing Brad Height 5-4 going to 5. Now the game between Quebec and New Brunswick. They're playing for 3-1 Quebec. Final stone Brian McPherson from the Riverside Golf and Country Club, just outside of St. John, drawing against 3. He's got to get at least a piece of the 4. He won't get far enough. He'll give up the steal of 1. And it's now 4-1 Quebec. Steve Gagnon from Jonquière. Well, thank you very much. Yes, the junior curlers, glad to help out. We thank you. 5th end.
Good. Yep. Yep.
3-2 Alberta. Linda, you're right. You can't give somebody like Kevin Martin free ones like that.
Well, it looked to us like Robert Campbell was a little outside, and those are ones, the blank, sometimes you lose a bit of focus. It looks like such an easy shot, but This is straight ice. You can't put it out at all, or it really will run on you. That extra weight, of course, it just won't come back.
Well, it's tough enough to beat this guy straight on. And you just, you're right, and you just can't give him a free point like that.
Right. Never. No, never. Never, 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 never. That's pretty. Shot. Line's good. Weight's good. Line's good. There. Wow. Wow. Yes!
Take that.
Well, that wasn't a bad shot. They were trying to come down to that yellow one and
not too bad.
Try and get something going here, but tapping it back, setting it up in the back of the house on way of generating offense. Makes it more difficult to remove that PEI stone.
Wow. Clean. Hurry. Good.
Is that down normal? Today is, I know it's a good shot.
A little quiet, yeah, a little quiet.
You already have one clue. Here's your second. He's been a runner-up with the Brier, and this is his second Brier appearance.
So that's somebody in this event.
You bet. That's part
Get
of
out
it.
the program.
Well, you know.
Well, that's not going to help me. You know what I'm like with these puzzles.
Yep. Wait. Yep. Wait. Wait.
When he's calling out weight, that means it's up to the brushers. The line is good. If it has the weight, don't sweep it. If it doesn't, then do sweep it.
Mark.
You just feel it's not bad. Again.
The Alberta second, James Paul.
Yeah, that's good. You're shooting, James.
But Ray, I know we talk a lot about generating offense, playing a guard, which potentially will protect your rock. You can come around that guard versus the freeze. And I think the Alberta team is one team that you may want to try and get the rocks up early, those free guard zone stones, because they pick out the stones that are almost frozen so well. It's really tough to get a rock in there that they can't get rid of.
I couldn't agree more. The first rock by PEI slipped into the rings, and that's why the situation is developed this way with freezes as opposed to rocks out in front that you may be able to come around. And they just throw the big weights so well, this team, that even the perfect freeze isn't safe. And of course we know that the perfect freeze, Vic, is the
Most difficult shot in curling.
yes.
10 years.
Yes.
So we saw that these two stones have a couple of inches of separation. Let's see what Kevin Park can do with them.
Front end has to be a bit of a track team here. Gets them all.
And now all you're left with is two rocks in front of the tee line, both belonging to the opposition.
No room there. You like? Huh? I know, there's no room there.
Peter Gallant.
Oh, whoa. Ah! Clean. Tap. 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 Tap.
People may wonder if Kevin Park is making a fashion statement there. He's wearing two different colored shoes, but all they do is curlers get a favorite slider and don't want to get rid of it, and then they get a shoe that they like as a gripper and don't want to get rid of it, and you end up with a statement there. You see one white shoe and one black shoe.
I thought it was just dark in the change room.
You could make a movie, or was that one red shoe? That
red
slightly
shoe.
different movie.
Peter Gallant.
Clean. Yep. Whoa. Whoa. Tap.
Up and down they go here in this fifth end. 3-2 Alberta leading.
Kevin Park glancing next door.
Building's a little noisier tonight. Nova Scotia's playing, and of course the Halifax crowd is behind them.
Off. No. Off. Right off. Clean. Foul. Foul.
4 games on the ice here in round 5, but teams that have this Sunday night off include British Columbia and Manitoba, both at 3-0. Ed Wernick of Ontario at 2-1, and the Yukon Northwest Territories at 1-2.
Well, Robert Campbell, recognizing the fact that he's maybe going to have to draw, and with his last one, he's going to try and tuck a draw around that rock, just half in the 12 and half out of the rings. See if he can get around a little bit, maybe get a miss out of Alberta and pick up a deuce.
Thank you. Line's good. Wait. Line. Yep. Oh. Wait. Whoa. Not line. Yep. Wait. Wait. Wait.
Lots of room is what they're saying. Lots of room just for weight.
Hurry. 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 Hurry and get it. Come on. Good shot.
You just see it just won't finish for you. It just absolutely.
Boys, a little more carrying weight.
Oh, he threw it well, Robert. Don't be so hard on yourself.
But it is frustrating because you make freezes, almost perfect freezes this end. What's the best kind of come around you can make this particular shot, and you just watch Alberta pick them right out.
Numbers you'd expect from Kevin Martin.
Clean. Whoa. Clean. Clean. Whoa. Good.
Hi, Diane. Going to draw with the other turn.
Mission accomplished, Park.
He's down there now.
Should be safe in that spot, eh?
So Robert Campbell, this final stone, will be forced to take one here as Alberta lies 2 around the edge of the 12-foot, so he'll have to draw full 12 or any part of the rings.
Can't hurt it. Come on. Can't hurt it. Okay, okay.
It's always a good sound when
It's clean.
someone is saying it can't hurt it. It means it's close. And
Wait. Saying to Peter we should have hit.
Good shot.
Hit and roll.
Robert Campbell will pick up his single here in 5, and so midway through this 5th round game, we're all tied, PEI in Alberta.
There are some things you can't put a price on. Fortunately, safety isn't one of them.
Hi, roadside assistance?
Cantel Amigo for $19.95 a month with no setup fees and no long-term commitment. Because if you had to put a price on safety, this is it. Cantel Amigo.
I saw a vision of what this house could be for us.
He took it all the way down to the plaster.
This is our first house. In the other houses, they're off as much as 2 inches. These ones are perfectly true.
He took everything out.
I felt like I own something. I own a piece of the earth.
CIBC Personal Vision Home Ownership. To see better ways to borrow for home renovation, see your CIBC personal banker or call.
I see our home as sort of our nest.
At CIBC, we're working to see what you see.
Forget rubbing and polishing silver, brass, and copper. Clean quickly and safely with the amazing product used by museums worldwide. Their secret is the patented Quicksilver cleaning plate. In hot water, simply dissolve washing soda. No, it's not ready yet, but watch this. Insert the Quicksilver electrolytic plate. Touch any tarnished item to it, and in seconds, it's sparkling. Clean many objects together with no smell or tainting. Pieces are instantly table ready. Quicksilver also cleans quality brass and copper, and especially gold, fine jewelry, even precious stones. Look how Quicksilver cleans intricate patterns that trap other cleaners. Simply revolve large items. Where water flows, it cleans. Quicksilver is environmentally safe and lasts for years. No mess, no fuss. The astonishing Quicksilver cleaning plate.
Only $19.95 and $4 postage. Call 1-800-427-1151. That's 1-800-427-1151 to order now.
Welcome back to the Metro Center in Halifax. 5th round of this 95 Labatt Brier. While our featured game, PEI Alberta, is in its 5th end break, tied 3-3. Let's take a look at the game between Northern Ontario and Nova Scotia. 5-1, Al Hackner leading. Bruce Lonas from Truro, and Lonas with Last Rock, Linda. And I don't know if he can get in there. Is he going to try to bump up his Yellowstone?
Yeah, I think so. It looks like an out-turn tap on that Yellowstone just to the left of center. Let's count up those red ones. What do you think, 4 red? The 4th shot is maybe close. Front yellow one and back red one.
You're not too quick to jump in here, Ray. What's the matter?
No, I think Linda's absolutely right. They're playing across the face of it. He's going to try and tap it back.
No, it's how many we're counting up. It's the 4.
I'm still thinking about the puzzle, Vic. Would you mind leaving me alone? There's a lot of pressure on me this week with these puzzles.
Yes.
So we'll say down 4, facing 4. Bruce Lonas has got to make a very tough shot here.
Perfect.
Just got to break a little more, and the line's going to be all right.
Pump it in far enough? No, not far enough. It'll be a steal of 1. Rick Lang giving a stone a little tap, so Bruce Lonas will give up another steal of 1 here in the 5th to Northern Ontario. And now it's a 6-1 game. Hackner ahead of Lonas. Northern Ontario ahead of Nova Scotia. As we flip over to the game on sheet B between Quebec and New Brunswick. 4-1, the team from Jonquière, the Kenogami Curling Club, skipped by Steve Gagnon against New Brunswick, and Brian McPherson from the Riverside Club in or just outside of St. John.
Well, Brian McPherson earlier made a beautiful hit and roll. Coming through with the out-turn in this type of situation. That's why there are 2 yellow ones in the forefoot. He's trying to figure out a way to get in there for the 3rd rock.
I think he's going to try and get through the hole, catch the redstone just on the corner, and roll over towards his own shots to get 3. That's about all he really has. He has a long raise on one of the yellow stones if he wanted to try it, but
they have played this spot a couple of times, both teams trying to get into this area and play off other rocks, so he probably feels he has the best shot, knowing the line right here.
The final stone for New Brunswick.
it's one of those shots, too, that you can't curl too much, so you couldn't curl enough to push it to the forefoot because it's too well guarded. All he has to do is just catch a corner of it with pack weight. Hopefully his shooter stays. That's a great shot.
3.
Yeah.
Spin away too far. No, I don't think so. And it'll be 3 for New Brunswick. And Brian McPherson. Nice shot by the skip from the Riverside. 0 and 2 coming in against Quebec 1 and 1, and they're all tied 4-4 as they go to their 5th end break. A reminder to stay with us right after our coverage of this 5th round of the Labatt Brier for the TSN Turning Point. Brought to you by the real estate professionals with Royal LePage.
Only one real estate agent goes farther than far, strives harder than hard, and reaches higher than high. Because only Royal LePage's dedicated full-time real estate professionals believe there's one direction to aim: higher.
Now you get them all here to Brier. The Rockheads from Newfoundland, the Southwester representing Nova Scotia, all kinds of wildlife. Moose and Brier bear.
A lot of animals here.
And the week is still young. There could be a lot more by the time this is over.
We weren't even in the Brier patch.
Hard! 3-3, the score of our featured game here in this 5th round of the Labatt Brier as we go to the 6th end in Alberta with Last Rock.
Well, the short rock, and then Kevin played the come around, and then it went slipped behind the tee line, and Robert Campbell tried to come around and sit on the face of it, but just a little short.
Is that rock really hurting us?
Well, one of them is, eventually.
Okay.
Do whatever he wants.
No,
Makes a little difference.
Just hacks. I agree with Kevin Martin. I would run that. I would get that off of there.
No, I would too. I don't know if they're talking about drawing open or what else they would do in this situation, but with Last Rock, you don't like to leave that front of the forefoot all cluttered up like that.
All over the guard.
Yeah, that one broke. It's on the guard. Oh, not a bad idea to get the guard off and get a bit of a roll if they can.
Good shot.
We're trying to see if that one touches it.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
I say it's off.
The side's made of foam, and it's a little harder to tell if it's touching.
Don Bartlett is a postal worker at the main post office in Edmonton. Wanted to say thank you to Margaret Woods, who is his supervisor, and thank her for considerations when it comes to time off for things such as the Labatt Brier. Really thanks to all employers across the country for being considerate of these players.
Turn! Just for line. Well.
Okay.
started with last rock here. He sits in a position to be able to pick up a deuce. They got the shot rock at the back of the forefoot. Bring an in-turn hit here to lie 2.
Hard. What? Okay. Shot.
Go that way?
The PEI second, Mark O'Rourke, here in the 6th of a 3-3 tie.
You know, they got a little lucky on that one. If they'll get it out. I think so.
Hey, Al Moore. Is that Al Moore related to you?
Oh, is this part of the puzzle? Yeah, he's acting head official tonight.
And Al, after that season of $13,000 in monies won, will be one of the teams competing in this year's World Curling Tour Championship in Selkirk, Manitoba.
I'm looking very much forward to that. He learned to curl at the Grain Exchange Club in Winnipeg. And gets to go back near that territory.
Well, we mentioned it already earlier tonight, but there's a lot of terrific teams going to be there, and likes of Martin and Howard, and so it'll be a great chance for Manitoba fans, not only at the World Championships in Brandon, but also in Selkirk to see top-notch curling.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Peter Gallant.
Park.
Okay.
That was a very fortunate double, you might add.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a hit and roll. It went too far, curled too much, and still got rid of the 2 yellow rocks in the house. And I guess you have to look at those and go, well, we haven't had much else going our way.
Right, yeah.
So finally something happened that was good for us.
Well, we'll try it. It's a long way to roll over there.
Try and roll across, we're talking about.
Kevin Park with the characteristic spin, like Russ Howard, before he throws the rock.
Yeah. Park.
Good.
Shot.
Good shot.
Well, that's the same ice I looked. Give me a little more. We haven't got much to lose by trying to roll.
So, Vic, do you have a little routine that you go through before you throw the rock?
I do that.
You do that?
Clean it, put it down.
Throw a lot like Russ Howard, do you?
Yeah. Till the tee line. And then I just sort of wobble and fall over.
That's good.
Gotta get over a little bit. Cap.
We'll be back with you for round 7 of this Labatt Brier, Monday afternoon, 2 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Atlantic. And we'll get our first look at Manitoba and Carey Burtnick, the 1981 Canadian champion, against Robert Andrews from the Yukon Northwest Territories.
Likely. I want to roll.
No, gotta roll a crack.
Both teams looking for a roll and neither team getting it, and that rock progressively getting farther and farther from the tee line, closer and closer to being outside the circles.
Shot. Campbell rolls the shooter in, bites top 12.
It's one of those games, Ray, where you look at the scoreboard and it's tied and you think, oh, it's a back and forth kind of game. But as far as the feel and the momentum goes, it feels like it's all Alberta. It feels like PEI is just kind of struggling to be at this point.
Well, I think that when they made those 3 great run-throughs and doubles and raised takeouts, it really took a little wind out of Robert's sails. And then he did throw a bad stone when he tried to blank. So I think it's now's the time he has to kind of group himself. I agree with you, Lynn. It does feel that way, that Alberta is kind of just, you know, waiting to pounce. But it's 3-3. It's a matter of taking some chances and putting some pressure on and getting a little break.
Leaving in the house. Not leaving the ice. Sits out in front. Here's your third hint. Been a runner-up at the Brier. Second Brier appearance and has won a world championship. Ooh. Well, if he's won a world championship, been a runner-up. It can't be a Canadian championship. Could be a mix. Junior.
We don't want to be way back, so we could probably still make a split if we're right back here, whether you try it or not.
There's no good just being in line then. We might as well overcurl it. Make him throw the wide out there. He's going to blank with the in-turn. It's going to be a lot tougher, right?
That's pretty tight to try to get around. Like.
Well, we thank Robert for that time to think about the puzzle. Well, he did our job.
Yeah.
Just playing the open side.
Yeah, I agree, Robert. I wouldn't go anywhere.
Throw the out-turn and blankets. That's guards too tight to fool around with.
Absolutely.
But this shot is
right
critical.
on the back one either, because he can still make the split.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
There's the rest of our analysis. The rock has to be in, or their split is possible.
Just be there.
So we'll just be quiet and let him make the play.
Yep. Yep. Come on, Rocky. Yep. Come on. Right here is good. Okay. Okay.
Final stone for Prince Edward Island. Robert Campbell, PEI. Alberta, though, does have last rock.
That's fine. And there's all kinds of things that can happen here, of course. In trying to blank it, you could jam it, so. Good shot by Robert Campbell, and you're right, and he had to get it in there, otherwise Kevin Martin could try to split for 2.
Alberta and Kevin Martin looking for the blank.
Hard. 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 Right out, James, your way. Roll it. Come on, James. Right out. Hard, hard, hard. All right.
Right out. All the way. You bet.
Blank.
Alberta blanks the 6, so we're still tied. 3-3 going to 7. And Martin still has last rock.
As the thermometer drops, dangerous crystals can form in your car's engine, threatening to shorten its life. That's why today's Quaker State has engineered intelligent oil. Oil that senses the changing threats in your engine and adapts its own molecular structure for continuous protection. Whenever the driving conditions change, so does Quaker State, the intelligent oil for longer engine life.
Forget rubbing and polishing silver, brass, and copper. Clean quickly and safely with the amazing product used by museums worldwide. Their secret is the patented Quicksilver cleaning plate. In hot water, simply dissolve washing soda. No, it's not ready yet, but watch this. Insert the Quicksilver electrolytic plate. Touch any tarnished item to it, and in seconds, it's sparkling. Clean many objects together with no smell or tainting. Pieces are instantly table ready. Quicksilver also cleans quality brass and copper, and especially gold, fine jewelry, even precious stones. Look how Quicksilver cleans intricate patterns that trap other cleaners. Simply revolve large items. Where water flows, it cleans. Quicksilver is environmentally safe and lasts for years. No mess, no fuss. the astonishing Quicksilver cleaning plate.
Only $19.95 and $4 postage. Call 1-800-427-1151. That's 1-800-427-1151 to order now.
Why mess with paper towels that soak through and let go? Now there's Scott Towels Ultra, the extraordinary new paper towel with holding power. New Scott Towels Ultra, the ultra-absorbent, ultra-thick paper towel.
It's the second day of this 1995 Labatt Brier, and we're in Halifax. You've had time to think about it. Time now to give you the answer to our Husky historical moment. Well, here's the question, and then we'll give you the answer. Of course, this skip won his second Brier in Moncton, New Brunswick, with a 9-2 record. Who is he? Think about it. The Canadian Men's Curling Championship. The Labatt Brier banner hangs from the roof of the Metro Center in Halifax as we go to the 7th end of a 3-3 tie in Alberta, still with last row.
Line's good. Line's good. Yep. Yep. Okay. Good. Fine. Wait, Mark.
Well, that's the key shot on this end, Linda. He's got to get that rock that's 6 to 8 inches in front.
Go here.
It can't be removed from play. It can be touched and moved over, but it's in that free guard zone area, so.
And we've seen a variety of ways of dealing with that. Some teams like to draw to the side of the 8-foot. Rick Folk was doing that in games we've watched. But Kevin Martin is calling for Don Bartlett to play beside that stone, and maybe they'll have a chance to pump this yellow one up later in the end. If it starts to curl, they will take it around.
It's going sideways. Come on. Come on. Okay, Don. Good shot, Donnie.
It's a pretty good shot. Gets it off the center line.
Nova Scotia, Bruce Lonis needs to get something going against Northern Ontario. Trailing 6-1 as they play the 6th. And it would appear that he's facing at least one as he goes down to play his final stone.
Well, with his first one, it looked like he had a chance to try and set up a 3, and he was heavy and moved rocks around, and Al Hackner made a double takeout. And the shooter for Al stayed for shot rock as well, so things went from looking quite good for Nova Scotia to now not looking very good, facing one.
And so he'll draw here. Lonis and his Nova Scotia team from the Truro Curling Club.
Looks like he may be trying to move that rock and roll in because he is down to 5 points.
He has second shot at the back of the 12.
That's what he was trying. He's trying to chip that one and roll in, and he won't even touch it.
And it'll be a steal of 1 for Northern Ontario in 6. 7-1 now. Hackner
moves so nicely
leading
from the line.
Well, Kevin Martin threw up the corner guard. He was going to go around the other one and the front end, and Kevin Park at this end kind of decided that they wanted to play the short corner guard, and so that's exactly what they did. I think now Robert Campbell is going to play a center line guard.
Come on. Easy, 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 easy. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa. Oh, baby. Okay.
They don't want it in the rings.
That's even a bit tight because there is a chance that if the Alberta team hit that, they could get some action on the shooter.
Good.
Maybe off the other one. They will try and get the nose hit, though. Control the front of the 4-foot.
Doesn't even see it. Looks like
quiet again. Hack weight.
Hard.
Might get the double.
Hurry, right up.
Yeah.
All the way. All the way hard.
That's no weight. What worse?
Live update for you. 7th end, Newfoundland against Saskatchewan. Final stone for Brad Height. And his Saskatchewan team leading 5-4 playing Newfoundland. Sits right there for 2. And it'll be a 7-4 lead after 7 for Saskatchewan and Brad Height from the Kerrobert Curling Club in Saskatchewan.
Come on, right up. Come on. Every step. Okay.
Another center line guard. Kevin will go around this one because it's a lot longer. It's a little too high. The out-turn draw. Stays Paul.
Okay, we got room. Hurry. Okay, room. A lot of room. Lots of room. Well, looks nice, eh?
Oh. Here comes.
Oh, it's buried.
That's a great shot.
Nice shot.
Top 4 by the Regina native James Paul.
Did you tell him to keep throwing the hack weight?
Not the hack stuff. Something that just bounces up firm off the board is what I told him.
Fighting mad down there. We told him it was too quiet, and he told us that you told him to.
Well, I did tell him that because I wanted him just to hit firm off the board. That thing didn't even knock it to that red stone.
It's not hack weight.
No, like I told him he doesn't have to throw it hard. Just firm board. Just so it bounces off the board.
Even if he's making his shots.
Peter Gallant.
Yep. Wait. Well.
Wait.
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 Yep.
Just a freeze in front of it is fine.
Gotta be here. Line's going.
There's a little bit of movement there, Linda. It's starting to come across there.
We've seen this sheet several times now, and we are seeing in that 4-foot band, there is movement with both turns.
It's a very nice shot.
Yeah, I don't mind that. Well, don't bump it too much, or else they got the intern through the hole, I guess.
Update for you, the game between Quebec and New Brunswick, with New Brunswick lying 1, top of the button of a 4-4 tie. Final stone for the skip. This is Steve Gagnon from the Kanagami Curling Club. That's in Jonquière. First time Quebec champion.
They've been playing very well, and it looks like he has a hit for 3.
For 3. To certainly have a look at those around the edge of the 8, and it would appear it is 3 for Quebec here in the 6th. And a 7-4 lead.
I think it's a lot of weight, isn't it?
Kevin Park.
Let it work. Whoa. Right there. Whoa.
Oh. Just trying to freeze in the face of it. Doesn't line it up the way you wanted to line it up, Linda.
No, it actually still lines up the red one.
If he moves it, we'll have a shot.
Right now. Well, I think we got to while we came most. Might not get a shot at it.
No. What kind of weight do you want to play?
Where do we want to go, though?
You want to just play back 4? Or do you want to play enough to move it out of the ring?
Well, I'm scared we play back 4. We move the yellow somewhere, and where he can get the red one out clear with the same kind of shot.
Yeah. How tight?
Yeah.
Timeout.
Onto this one here. Push this one back. What they're talking about, what kind of weight to play. We'll listen to them.
Do you want to play that
matter
now?
what you want to do, play back for to keep a bit of the backing, you want to knock it right out now?
I'm just scared if we get the separation, then it might give him a chance to...
I don't want to knock it out.
Yeah, the problem is, no matter... You can't play too cute with the guard, eh, Peter? So the yellow one's going to stay right there anyway.
I don't know.
We're not going to...
through right now, does he?
You going through the port?
Yeah. We got to move it, rookie. We're not going to be able to play it cute, okay? The yellow one's not going to go anywhere. Simple as that. So it's a matter of what weight and where we want to hit it. We're not going to be able to get to the nose or better.
You don't like getting it all the way out?
I don't mind getting it all the way out at all, no. We got to make up our mind, that's what I'm saying.
Just that our shooter's going to roll.
When they say the yellow one's not going to go, this is the yellow one they mean right here. That's not going to go anywhere, only onto that. That one, of course, is going to drive that one out. Now they're saying
a light hack weight.
Let's get it right out.
Through.
Yeah. This will go a little bit closer center on it.
It's got to be...
It's a light hack.
Yeah.
There's a bit of separation on the red and yellow, so
light hack.
It's going to bounce off a bit anyway.
Just hack, Robert.
Yeah, no more.
Well, the problem is they're worried that the way they leave the shooter in that front yellow one is still going to give Alberta a chance to make the shot right back. And so the key is where the shooter rolls and the angle it has onto the first yellow one.
Well, I think you like to hit it fairly on the high side and then have the shooter roll over a little bit out of that little area there. Then you'll have the shot rock behind the guard and third shot behind another guard.
Peter Gallant.
But the yellow rock is always going to be raised. Be able to be raised.
Whoa! Hop! Hop!
Not quite good. Here it's come now.
Still leaves the yellow onto the red, it looks like.
Yeah, it's definitely the yellow on the red, and you can hit the yellow will hit the other red rock.
We go out at normal weight.
I don't think we have to be real big, do we? We don't want to squirt through this hole. What do you think of down normal?
And then the shooter will come over
you have to
here
have a little weight to...
and move that one like that.
And Kevin's Martin's fear, Linda, if you throw too much weight, it just might squirt through with them.
It would still catch the yellow under the red, but the shooter might roll too far.
Well, I guess I think, too, that if you do too much weight, it might catch the back of that red one, and the shooter might just spin out.
Hitting our yellow one first.
Yellow one first, right.
Hurry! Hard! Hard! Quick! Quick! Push it! Harder! Shit!
Had they hit it a little bit thinner, then the shooter would have squirted forward. Now the double's there.
Yeah. Whereabouts, Robert? Thanks, so, eh?
Just a touch on the out. Whoa, where did that line come from? Just a touch on the outside like that. It'll move that one out like so. This will go like that. And the shooter just about here. A little bit of a wobbly rock, but...
Skip Stones here in this 7th of a 3-3 tie. First from Robert Campbell. Alberta does have the hammer.
Yep! Yep! Ow! Oh! Yep! Yep! Quick! Hard! Oh!
Got them both. And he does.
One's fairly easy, really. One's fairly easy. Shot. That went fair.
Well, it's been an interesting end because the angles have lined up nicely for both teams. First one and then the other. Looked like that was going to be maybe a tough double, and Robert's saying it really turned out to be not that bad. His shooter rolled a little bit further, I think, than he thought it would.
Yeah, he would have liked to stop behind the guard, but
Are we seeing more action in the house now than we did, say, yesterday, first couple of rounds?
Well, definitely different than yesterday. So it's sliding a little better and a little more lively in the house.
Hard for line. Okay, a lot of room. Tons of room.
Yep, line's good.
Line's real good.
Yep, hard. Hard.
Hard, it's really burying. Come on.
Come on. Push. Come on, guys. Lane's good.
Come on, guys.
It's not. Come on.
Hard.
Right up. Come on. Come on. Good shot.
Good.
Very nice shot. There's lots of movement right in that spot, Linda. Also with the in-turn going down that way we saw this afternoon, and that out-turn coming across too.
It's a little deeper than last one.
That's fully buried.
Oh, I swept that one well.
What do you mean? Get it.
Push it back.
No. Yep. I don't think we can, Peter. Should be close there.
Well, I couldn't agree more with Robert's comments, is that you can't beat it for short rock, so just freeze to the face of it, sitting right there, and make it very difficult for Kevin Martin to get to.
Campbell's percentage has come up considerably.
Force control the out-turn force.
Right in there, right freeze to the face of it.
Last rock for Prince Edward Island. Alberta does have hammer.
They don't want...
How much? We'll see what the weight is like when it crosses. It has to sit in front of this stone.
You can't afford to just chip it.
That's probably perfect T-line weight, and he really wanted it to be a bit shorter than that so the sweepers could take it.
Yeah, yes, he wanted to sit on top of it, and it just gives Kevin a hit for two here. The difference there was that Kevin Martin got his stone there with very, very good brushing, and Robert Campbell got his at that same spot with no brushing at all. So if you just had a little less weight, you could have left it and then taken it, left it and taken it. Anywhere in front of it on the angle makes it difficult for Kevin Martin to get to. But this is the easiest way that he could possibly hope for to get to.
Yep. 2 and a possible 5-3 lead. Final stone, 7th end.
Clean's good. Clean.
Clean.
There it is. So earlier, Robert Campbell gave him a free one with a steal of 1, and here he almost gives him a free deuce. Alberta picks up 2, and they'll lead going to the 8th. PEI will have last rock.
The first set from 1993 is the Premier Edition, featuring 66 of the world's best men and women curlers. The Curling Card Series continues in 1994 with the sequel edition, which includes 50 of the game's greats. Curling legends and current international stars highlight both editions and are now available. You can order your set by sending a check or money order to Ice Hot Curling International, P.O. Box 22009, Capri Center, Kelowna, BC, V1Y9N9. Or by calling 1-800-370-CURL to put it on your credit card. That's 1-800-370-CURL.
What's this? Brier Bear gets a curling card? I don't get a card. Yeah, but he's a better sweeper.
We changed the way you saw the world. Now we've made a world of changes. Introducing the new Ford Explorer. The only leading sport utility with standard dual airbags. The only one with Control Track, which provides four-wheel drive traction automatically. Plus an engine that lets you go 160,000 kilometers before your first scheduled tune-up. The new Ford Explorer. Far
far and away the best the world has to offer.
Scotties are softer now. Pass it on.
Scotties are softer now. Pass it on. Scotties are softer now. Pass it on.
From Scott Paper, our softest Scotties ever, in beautiful decorator boxes. Scotties are softer now.
In 1996, the world will be coming to Hamilton. Hamilton, Ontario in the 1996 Ford World Curling Championships at Copps Coliseum. For ticket information, you can call 1-800-522-CURL. That's 1-800-522-2875. That steal of one in the fourth was a gimme, and those two in 7 will feel like a gimme. But there's no gimme when it comes to who's going to win the Labatt Brier Tankard. Best field ever as we drop in on the game between Saskatchewan and Newfoundland as they play the 8th. 7-4 Saskatchewan leading, final stone Newfoundland. And the skip from St. John's, Bill Jenkins.
Facing 2 in the house, playing a tap back on shot rock for his point.
And there it is. He'll hit the stick top 4 for 1 to keep himself alive. He'll trail by 2 going to 9. Saskatchewan. Brad Height will have last drop. From the Metro Center in Halifax, 4 sheets in play here in this 5th round of the Labatt Brier, and our featured game is on sheet A. Prince Edward Island, Alberta.
Okay, that's good.
Playing 8 PEI with last rock.
Well, the first stone to the top of the 4-foot. You see it coming into view now, and Robert Campbell ignores that and throws up the corner guard into the free guard zone area. The rock cannot be removed from play, so Kevin Martin will come down to the face of his own stone, which you see very, very often. He's got his 2-point lead now. They probably defend leads as well as any team in curling, but you always have a chance with this new rule. Got that one corner guard, that's for sure, Linda.
And it's really these first 4 rocks that determine the whole end. This one, it depends how deep it is, whether PEI can make a good play on it. And PEI will hope that if they make a play on it, that the shooter stays, and then Alberta has to worry about it and not go out and peel that guard. And PEI would very much like to get a 2 back here and utilize that corner guard to tie up this game.
Good call by Robert, and that's, you're exactly right. You can't afford to lose the shooter, so he's playing it with just back ring weight. Keep the rocks in play. I need rocks in play to get my extra point.
Back line.
PEI lead, Mark Butler.
Right in the nose is a good shot. And it'll stay.
Okay, Mark.
That's a terrific shot.
And I like the weight. We talked about this during the Scott Tournament of Hearts too, Ray. Often teams will go up and really throw heavy weight at that shot because there's 2 rocks in the rings, but a nice play, quiet weight, save the shooter. And now Alberta has to worry about it.
Rip it? All right. Okay. I'm easy.
First they'll go after the guard. That is the one that they're worried about. That's the one that you can come around in that spot.
And for the drag racer, Paul, this is a burnout.
Shot. Yeah, sure. I like that.
Updating the game between Northern Ontario and Nova Scotia as they play in 7. 7-1, Hal Hackner leading. Final stone, Bruce Lonis of Truro makes the hit on that Northern Ontario stone. Top 4 for his deuce. Northern Ontario, though, still in control, and they have last rock going to 8.
Digs in.
Come on, hurry up. Come on, you got it.
Robert makes a good call here, in my opinion, again. He's throwing up the corner guard again, and you'll see Kevin go up to try and peel it. And you could do this a couple of times, and you could go back and freeze to the one back in the rings.
Just a duplicate shot of his first one for James Paul.
And certainly no trouble with throwing enough weight on those. They were talking about maybe he was not throwing enough takeout weight earlier, but great peels.
Mark O'Rourke.
Oh, wide. Got line. The line's good. Yep. Yep. Crush. Okay, Mark. Wait. Shot. What?
Feel one more time. Sneaking a peek at the game between Quebec and New Brunswick, with Quebec leading 7-4 as they play the 7th. 2 stones to play. New Brunswick with last rock, and New Brunswick is lying 2, top 4 and back of the button. Quebec breaking the game open, scoring 3 in the 6th, and this will be the final stone of the 7th end for the Quebec skip Steve Gagnon, who comes into this game with a record of 1-1.
Steve trying to hit shot rock and maybe get a little bit of a roll. Make New Brunswick shot for 2 harder.
And we'll return to see Brian McPherson's final stone from Riverside and St. John.
Robert threw up the corner guard again, and Kevin Martin ran it off. I think he's going to throw it up one more time. I think after this, he'll probably make a different move. He can play his own back onto the Alberta stone. He can freeze to one at the back of the rings. One more corner guard, and that's about all I think he'll do.
Come on, guys.
Kevin Martin now will remove the stone in the rings, I think, as opposed to peeling it. Yeah, there's the call.
And Ray, let's take a quick look at the game again between Quebec and New Brunswick, getting ready for the final stone of the New Brunswick skip Brian McPherson, another of the newcomers to the Canadian Men's Championship from the Riverside Golf and Country Club near St. John. Final stone hit for 2 and cut the lead to 1.
Well, the last time we peeked in, they were playing the same turn. He's playing it quietly.
And he'll sit edge of the 4-tee line for 2 for New Brunswick in the 7th, and it's now a 1-point game. Quebec still leading, and they'll have last rock. Our feature game is right next door on sheet A.
Well, Robert put the corner up, so and Kevin Park came across the rings and picked off the one off the top of the rock that was in the house. So Robert Campbell's going to now go behind his corner to get buried behind his corner. You cannot be shot rock.
Room. Got room.
Oh, let him hurt.
Got line.
Well, if you can.
Make sure, stay with it. Going now. Stay with it.
Yeah, little.
Okay, Pete.
Pretty good.
Close.
Well, it's a long guard. He's fully in behind it, but the guard being that long gives Kevin
left, Kev.
Kevin Martin a chance to come down and just tap it back.
If he does sit there, though, PEI can draw to that stone and get some protection for the rock. Both the corner guard and the rock behind it would lend its protection.
Long guard.
Kevin Martin and his first stone here in 8. PEI with last rock.
Yep. Hard. Oh, hard. Wait, yes. Hard.
Good. Roll it. Roll it. Roll right over, right over, right over.
That's a very nice shot by Kevin. It did get a bit of a roll, so the freeze is
off.
it's still there, but the rock will not be behind that guard. It will be just a freeze to that shot
crack
rock.
in there. Just a crack, Pete. Speed's the same there, right? Speed's the same?
Last end, Robert Campbell had perfect draw weight. It's just that it was supposed to be a little bit shorter of the spot that it ended up. It was T-line weight, and it slipped almost to the T-line, but wanted to be top of the 8-foot, top of the 4-foot. In this case, it's virtually T-line that he wants to be.
Robert
Stay
Campbell.
with it. Line's good. Wait. Whoa! Oh. Yep, yep. Yep, yep. Hurry. Come on, guys.
A terrific line. Just triple. Whoa. Not enough weight.
Hey?
Yeah. Yeah, anywhere. Well, as long as he gets it here. Hey?
That ain't bad.
As long as he can't make the...
There's a triple there.
Yeah.
I guess so. Wherever you like.
Yeah, as long as we're in there somewhere. We got to make sure we're past level. Yeah, even here. Yeah, anything past the other one. Just so there's no triple, that's all that matters.
He's not very happy. But we mentioned
Almost a high
I don't
shot.
think so.
early about Robert Campbell. He has a, when he goes well,
Way out.
he looks good, but I mean, he has a habit of getting down on himself a little bit. Lyndon, I think he's down on himself right now, just from the comments he makes. You know, when even a shot appears to be good.
Really hard.
Well, that last one was a tough one. If it was in there and Alberta had to make a play on it, it'd be a lot better than now. He's going to be facing two at least.
Come on, come on. Shit.
Sorry.
Well, yeah.
It's not the percentage, it's when he's missed, I think, that has bothered Robert Campbell the most. Remember the blank, he completely missed the attempt on the takeout, and that draw, that still had a chance to set up the end for his two and tie this game, and it came up well short, and you know, those kind of things really begin to bother a skip. This is a big shot.
Line's good.
No.
4 foot.
Line's good.
How much?
Oh, that. Needs to have a piece of blue.
This one's really sliding.
Needs to dig in, and in a hurry. Needs to dig in very quickly, and it will not, and it will slide too far.
Two.
Two it is.
Two yellow.
And if we didn't see a smile before, we're certainly not going to see one now. Robert Campbell gives up the steal of 2 to Alberta here in the 8th. 7-3, Martin now leads. You had some time to think about it. So now it's time to give you the answer to our Husky historical moment. And this was the question here in the 5th round of the Labatt Brier. This skip won his second Brier in Moncton, New Brunswick with a 9-2 record. Who is he?
Why did you look at me, Vic?
I don't know.
You are my inspiration.
Al Hackner, I have no idea.
Oh, Ray, you're not even bothering, are you?
I'm still working on the puzzle.
Look at this. Look at this.
Billy Walsh. Thank you.
Oh.
I should have known that.
Bill Walsh is the answer to our Husky historical moment, and it looked like he beat Ontario and Alfie Phillips Sr., if I'm not mistaken. I thought I saw Alfie Phillips Sr. in that picture.
Yes, you did. That's who he beat.
The Husky historical moment is brought to you by Husky Oil and their retail distributors of Oval Lubricants. We're in Halifax for this 1995 Labatt Brier.
Jean-Luc Brassard, Canadian Olympic gold medalist.
To win gold, you've got to want it. So I push myself to do my personal best. That leaves my hair sweaty and out of control. So I reach for Pert Plus. I've tried some other 2-in-1s, but Pert Plus works. I get the control I want.
Pert Plus has control-enhancing conditioners that help smooth every strand to leave your hair more manageable.
With Pert Plus, I don't fuss. I get hair that I can control.
A winning combination for manageable hair.
You want to be your best? You gotta have control.
Saturdays. Nothing but good times, a little recreational activity, and Unitel's greatest long-distance offer, which is now even better. How so, you ask? Well, Unitel has just extended its incredible Super Saturdays offer until April. That's right, you can save 60% every Saturday on any call to anywhere in North America. Plus, there's no monthly fees, no minimum spending, and if you're already hooked up to Unitel, it's automatic. Hey, it's a bigger, better deal. How big? I'll show you. Toronto to Montreal, 10 minutes. Their rate, $1.56. With Unitel, only 62 cents. Wow. Hey, that was fun. Let's try that again. Calgary to Halifax, 10 minutes. With them, $3.12. The same call with Unitel, only $1.25. So Unitel's 60% is really better because it's bigger. Hey, it's super. Hence the name. So call 1-800-991-5577 for Super Saturdays from Unitel. The best day of the week just keeps getting better.
You don't choose to have an accident, but you can choose your repair center. More than 1 million Canadians have relied on AutoPro, the largest network of automotive professionals. AutoPro Collision, a courteous reception, professional repairs, qualified technicians, specialized equipment, and in addition to AutoPro's national warranty, take advantage of our deductible protection plan. AutoPro Collision, people you can trust.
Well, one game is already over here in this fifth round of the Labatt Brier. Saskatchewan with the steal of 4, and then Newfoundland made it close until a 3 in 9, and a 10-5 win for Saskatchewan and Brad Height over Bill Jenkins. So Saskatchewan now 2-1, and Newfoundland and Jenkins from St. John's, they dropped to 0-3. And with our game, our featured game, now 7-3, Alberta ahead of Prince Edward Island as they play 9. Going over to the game between Quebec and New Brunswick as they play in the 8th, with Quebec leading 7-6, and Quebec with the hammer. This is the first skip stone for the Quebec skip, Steve Gagnon from the Kenogami Curling Club in Jonquière.
Well, New Brunswick took the 2 last in, and they've got that one rock in the top of the 8-foot. They had it nicely buried. Steve Gagnon got the guard off, but a chance to put the guard right back. Looks like they're going to bring it right in. A couple of options. You could bring it to a biter position where it would guard, but also be in for second shot. The danger would be allowing a double takeout. They're looking like they're going to bring it right on top of that yellow one and try and freeze them together and make a double difficult.
New Brunswick is 0-2, Quebec 1-1 entering this 5th draw.
I don't want to set up an angle on these. They're trying to get them so that they're one right on top of the other.
Yes! Yes!
You could just see the third tap the stone on the center line side. That's where they're hoping to hit that first yellow rock. There he is, lining up the angle so that it goes back on the other shot.
Okay. 29-year-old Steve Gagnon. Get them both. No, he jammed it. And he'll give up the steal of 1 to New Brunswick here in the 8th. And so it's all tied. Quebec and New Brunswick, 7-all. Quebec still with last rock.
We know you don't lose any sleep over bathroom tissue, but we know you do care enough to give your family the softness they deserve. So at Scott Paper, we keep making sure that's Cottonelle. Today's 2-ply Cottonelle is our softest, thickest ever. And we're proud, even a little excited, that families keep choosing Cottonelle quality. Like we've always said, you can feel the cottony softness.
Saturdays. Nothing but good times, a little recreational activity, and Unitel's greatest long-distance offer, which is now even better. How so, you ask? Well, Unitel has just extended its incredible Super Saturdays offer until April. That's right, you can save 60% every Saturday on any call to anywhere in North America. Plus, there's no monthly fees, no minimum spending, and if you're already hooked up to Unitel, it's automatic. Hey, it's a bigger, better deal. How big? I'll show you. Toronto to Montreal, 10 minutes. Their rate, $1.56. With Unitel, only 62 cents. Wow. Hey, that was fun. Let's try that again. Calgary to Halifax, 10 minutes. With them, $3.12. The same call with Unitel, only $1.25. So Unitel's 60% is really better because it's bigger. Hey, it's super. Hence the name. So call 1-800-991-5577 for Super Saturdays from Unitel. The best day of the week just keeps getting better.
With bad heartburn, why does stomach acid burn up here, not down here? Because acid is being pushed up to where it really burns. That's bad heartburn. This is Gaviscon, a heartburn specialist. Gaviscon forms a neutralizing foam that works fast to help stop the burning up here. And unlike antacids, forms a long-lasting protective barrier that helps keep the burning from returning. That's the Gaviscon difference. Specialized relief for heartburn.
Won 8-3 over Nova Scotia, so Al Hackner's record now 2-1. Bruce Lonis of Nova Scotia. Truro drops to 1-2. Manitoba, British Columbia on top at 3-0. Ontario 2-1. Idle and Northern Ontario and Saskatchewan now joining Edwernik at that 2-1 record. Quebec sitting at 1-1, could go there as well if they win. Alberta, if they win, will go to 2-1. And we're starting to see the field separate very early on the second day of the Labatt Brier. Saskatchewan a winner, 10-5 over Newfoundland. Brad Height is with Ray.
Well, Brad, a good day. 2 big wins.
Yeah, it's awful nice to get it turned around and get a couple of wins in.
Let's talk a little about this afternoon, the game against Al Hackner. It was really, there were some good shots made in it, but it was really a game of ups and downs kind of for both of you.
Yeah, it's one of the darndest games I've been in. There was some spectacular shooting by both teams, and then just some of the worst misses you could imagine.
You could see that neither one of you were too confident in the ice. Were there some runs out there? Was the ice a little different, for example, this afternoon than it was tonight?
Yeah, it was a lot more consistent tonight. I don't know if I'd say it was runs. I think both Al and I had a heck of a time. Either, you know, the guys were tucking them back, or the rocks were just a little different, because it seemed like you were throwing on the same spot and you couldn't get the same result twice, so it made it really tough.
The game tonight, we didn't get a chance to see a lot of it, but much more consistent tonight.
Yeah, really nice. The ice, you know, played really well, and when we got in trouble, we deserved to be in trouble, so you feel better about that kind of thing, and the boys played well, and it, you know, you're rewarded for throwing them well, so that was nice.
For sure. I know you don't think ahead, of course, but tomorrow you got that arch rival Manitoba in Carey Burknick. Some thoughts about Carey?
Yeah, Carey, they've been rolling really well, and we've played Carey quite a few times, and they're always awful tough, so that's going to be a big game for us tomorrow morning.
And you're here, and Father's at home doing what?
Yeah, he's babysitting the cows, all right. They're just about in the calving season, so that'll be fun for him.
Good luck tomorrow, and thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you.
Brad Hyde, a winner 10-5 over Newfoundland as we return to the game between Quebec and New Brunswick, tied 7-7 after that steal of 1 by New Brunswick. Quebec with last rock. Interesting, Brad saying to Ray Linda, and that's what you and both Ray have said for so long, as curlers, that's what you want. Some consistency in what the ice does, and maybe we're starting to see that now 5 draws in.
Yeah, I think so. Let's face it, this afternoon he made the good point. There was people that weren't throwing the rock well. So then as a skip, you're thinking, is it the ice? Is it the rock? Is it the release? What is it? But definitely tonight, everything seems to be leveling out. The ice seems to be a little bit better, and the players seem more comfortable out there.
This is the Quebec second. This is Bernard Mimon.
Well, Quebec has last rock, and they've been ignoring that center line guard, and they've been playing their rocks a little more spread out, drawing first to the side, and now you saw that nice takeout on the one just to the edge of the forefoot. It's up to New Brunswick to try and get the good hit in the roll behind the guard and try and take this end away from Quebec.
New Brunswick second is Joseph Vautour.
Wait. And wait.
Ninth end of a 7-7 tie.
Line's good. Line's good.
And Mimon couldn't hold the shooter. Mark Armstrong makes the hit and sticks edge of the 4. All right, lots of time to think about this final piece to our Labatt Brier puzzle, and he has won a Canadian junior title, so he's been a runner-up at the Brier. His only his second appearance, won a world championship, won a Canadian junior title.
Well, believe it or not, I think Ray and I both know this. I think it's Craig Burgess.
I think it is, too.
Well, Ray, I think that's a first. We both got this one.
I have to admit, you had it first, Olivia. Took me 3 clues. You had it on the second clue, I believe.
It's
played for Nova Scotia here, and he played for New Brunswick when they lost Ed Wernick in the 1990 Labatt Brier.
Skipped that year.
Tim Sullivan? Oh, you just would like us to trick us.
New Brunswick third, Mark Armstrong. We'll be back with you Monday afternoon, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. local. Our first look at Manitoba. Kerry Burtnick right now sitting at 3-0. And he'll go against the Yukon Northwest Territories and Robert Andrews from Atlin. But as you heard Ray say, talking with Brad Height, first he's got to hook up with Saskatchewan. So that'll be our afternoon game, round 7 of this Labatt Brier. The Quebec third is Greg Mimon.
Yep. Yeah, all the way. All the way, hurry hard. Hurry!
He just got that inside right out of his hand. May get a corner of it. Yes.
But the team without Last Rock has a centerline guard up, and they'll have a chance to come around it. Brian McPherson, after that steal last end, will try it again this end.
Just through the house. Just through.
44-year-old Brian McPherson and his team from the Riverside Country Club. Had a chance to visit there a couple of years ago. New Brunswick Scott was being held.
Wait, good. Hurry. Yes, come on. Hurry. Hey, that's fine. Hurry hard. Come on, Joe. Hurry hard.
A pretty nice weight, but it didn't curl very much.
So Quebec now, Linda, do you play the hit, look for the roll, or do you just maybe, let's say, keep it clean, let's blanket and take the last run through?
I think he's looking to roll it away, especially in these spots where you're around center line. You don't want to cut that guard too close. So it looked to me like, yeah, there's the call, to roll it away from that center line guard.
Roll in, yeah. If you can,
Obviously, if it looks like it's going to curl, and you can't take that, you'll try and get that bit of an inside flop, but everybody's a little cautious around the center line area, trying to get the very fine, delicate rolls. Just a couple of inches of separation between that guard and the rock and the rings. Cut a little bit.
Yeah, ducks at a quarter in behind that guard covering the forefoot. We've got two first-time skips here in this 5th round, Quebec. Gagnon and McPherson from New Brunswick.
Well, Brian McPherson will hope to stay here, obviously, but it's a very important hit and stay, because then he forces to Quebec to try and blanket by rolling out. And we've seen a number of blank attempts go wrong in these first few rounds. Oh, he put that one outside.
Yeah, he knew as soon as he let it go that he didn't have a chance at it.
Not even close. So an open draw for 2 for Quebec here in 9. It's not the first time we've seen that, though. We've seen people such as Kawaja flash them. We've seen a number of skips and thirds make those shots.
They happen. But if they happen too often, you don't win.
Final stone for the Quebec skip, Steve Gagnon. A very big 2 points for Quebec here in 9. Taking advantage of the miss by McPherson. And so Quebec will lead it 9-7. McPherson, New Brunswick will have last rock. Coming home.
There are some things you can't put a price on. Fortunately, safety isn't one of them.
Hi, roadside assistance?
Cantel Amigo for $19.95 a month with no setup fees and no long-term commitment. Because if you had to put a price on safety, this is it. Cantel Amigo.
I saw a vision of what this house could be for us.
He took it all the way down to the plaster.
This is our first house. In the other houses, they're off as much as 2 inches. These ones are perfectly true.
He took everything out.
I felt like I own something. I own a piece of the earth.
CIBC Personal Vision Home Ownership. To see better ways to borrow for home renovation, see your CIBC personal banker or call.
I see our home as sort of our nest.
At CIBC, we're working to see what you see.
As the thermometer drops, dangerous crystals can form in your car's engine, threatening to shorten its life. That's why today's Quaker State has engineered intelligent oil. Oil that senses the changing threats in your engine and adapts its own molecular structure for continuous protection. Whenever the driving conditions change, so does Quaker State, the intelligent oil for longer engine life.
You've always got time for something wild. You've always got time for some fresh taste. Tim Hortons Wild Blueberry Brand Muffins. Baked fresh every day, bursting with wild blueberries. You've always got time for Tim Hortons. Bite into Blueberry Brand. It's wild.
The support for Quebec from the Kenogami Curling Club in Jonquière. Of course, we were in Chicoutimi, Jonquière for the 1988 Labatt Brier. As we return to the game between Quebec and New Brunswick as they go to the 10th. Quebec leading 9-7 after that deuce in 9. New Brunswick and Brian McPherson to have last rock, and through it goes. Rodrigue Tremblay, the lead for Quebec.
Well, it was a big flash by Brian because with this rule you can get a deuce or you can steal.
So to get your 2, what you have to do is first put up the guard. The guard cannot be completely removed from play because of the free guard zone rule, and so you have a chance to tuck around it. Looks like Quebec might try and just touch that rock over. They're talking about it. No, changed their minds.
Throw it through. Say hello to my mom who's in the Misericordia Hospital. She got a little TV today, so hope Mom's watching this. Hope you're feeling better, Mother. Got lots of fudge for you here, thanks to Mary Baird, who dropped it off to me. Wants me to weigh 380 pounds.
Well, there's a lot now, but not the way you're going at it.
Would they have to change that font to not Regal Forest Animal?
Or just a large Regal Forest Animal.
Looking for the second corner guard here.
Our season of champions started off in Sarnia, Ontario, with Stephen Ogden from Nova Scotia winning the Unitel Canadian Mixed. Then it was Bill Dickey from Trenton, Ontario, Northern Ontario, Sheila Ross, winners of the CIBC Seniors Championship. Kelly McKenzie, Chris Galbraith, McKenzie from Deer Lodge, Galbraith from Fort Rouge, Manitoba sweeping the Canadian Juniors. And then Manitoba again, Connie Laliberty. Boy, it's been a year for Manitoba. And here at the Labatt Brier, Manitoba, and Carrie Burtnick right now tied for the lead standings at 3-0 with BC.
Come on. Come on. Come on.
Keep putting up these guards. The theory is if you get the one corner guard up and get around it nicely, you have a chance for your two. If you can get a couple up there, get around both of them, you do have a chance for three.
This is the Quebec second, Bernard Mimon. New Brunswick second, Joseph O'Toole.
Go hard. Go hard. Come on. Come on, work it. Come on, work it hard. Come on. Come on, come on, come on. Come on.
Quick update here. Prince Edward Island, Alberta, final stone, 10th N, PEI, and Alberta. And this is Kevin Martin, can win it here. And he'll spill both. And I think he'll give up the steal of one possibly, but it doesn't matter. PEI had their 3 stones in there to force a tie if they could get the steal, but they won't. And Kevin Martin will win it 7-5 over Prince Edward Island, improving their record to 2-1. Robert Campbell from Charlottetown drops to 0-3.
Good game, guys.
Well, we were talking about putting up the guards, and unfortunately for New Brunswick, they hogged the last guard. They were trying to put up the second one. The rock didn't make it over the hog line, and now Quebec has a chance to get rid of the only other rock in play. And it's a very clean-looking sheet now, what Quebec likes, and obviously what New Brunswick does not like.
New Brunswick third is Mark Armstrong. This is his third Brier appearance. He played a couple of times with Gary Mitchell out of St. John, and when we were there in St. John for the CIBC Canadian Seniors, asking about Mitchell, he was still curling and wearing his baseball caps he used to do. They said, no, he's just gotten out of the game for a little while. And so, Gary, if you're watching, we wish you the best. So just the one game remaining here in this 5th draw of the Labatt Brier, and that is Quebec, New Brunswick. And slowly Quebec running the team from the Riverside out of rocks. Whoa. Spoke too soon.
Yeah, the one hog guard, it looked like Quebec was going to be able to keep this ice very clean and not give New Brunswick a chance, and there was a miss. So New Brunswick does have a chance to get a rock in behind that guard.
Mark Armstrong.
Hard! Hard! Like, help! Hard! Help! Hard! Come on! Come on, hard! Real good! Oh, well, never mind. Split up! Okay. Okay.
Taking a look at the updated standings, Manitoba, British Columbia, Idle sitting on top at 3-0, followed by Ontario, Northern Ontario, Saskatchewan. Alberta now goes to 2-1. Quebec, with a win, would join them at 2-1, and you start seeing the separation already, just 2 days into this 95 Labatt Brier.
Well, Steve's looking for the peel here. He is looking at the fact that if he hits it, the rock that is on center line on the side closest to the other rock, he may be able to spill both rocks and kind of wiggle his shooter around a bit, but obviously trying to get one off for sure.
First of the skip stones here in 10.
There it is. That's a great shot.
Wiggled the shooter in between and got them both.
Well, you love those. You line them up and you go for them, but they're pretty tough to make, so very nice shooting by Steve Gagnon. He said all the way, I want to try and get them both. Perfect action on the shooter and got rid of everything.
We'll be back with you for the 7th draw. These are some of the games on the ice. Prince Edward Island, my goodness, doesn't get any worse for Robert Campbell, does he? Now he goes up against Rick Folk, the reigning Canadian and world champion. Quebec goes on the ice against Nova Scotia. New Brunswick plays at Wernick, and Manitoba is the game will feature Kerry Burtnick against Robert Andrews from the Yukon Northwest Territories. First stone from the New Brunswick skip, Brian McPherson.
Well, this one's got to be in. There's no place to hide. He's only got to go for the rings.
Hurry! Come on, come on!
He swept it out of his hand.
It's interesting. I think a lot of people thought that McPherson was offering his hand there, but I think he wants him to make a play.
He was definitely looking like he was going to shake hands, but I guess he realized that that one might be able to be split, so decided not to, and he's going to force Quebec to play it off. You can see that the Quebec third doesn't even want to do that. He said draw to the open side and make him make that split. That's a really tough shot. But looks like the skip is overruled, and he's going to try and just run it off.
What would you do here? I mean, is it chances of giving up the deuce now are long anyway, which is the better percentage here?
I don't really think there's much danger of chipping this one in. Sometimes if the ice is tricky, swingy, something, you don't like to play these, but you can pretty well just aim at the middle of the rock here.
So Quebec and their skip, Steve Gagnon, trying to run New Brunswick out of stones here in 10. And there it is. So Quebec and Gagnon from the Kanagabe Curling Club in Jonquière will win it by a final score of 9-7. And Quebec improve their record to 2-1, joining that long list while New Brunswick falls Brian McPherson from St. John to 0-3. And so 5 rounds are now complete at this 1995 Labatt Brier. And as I say, Linda, we started to see the separation now between the top teams as we expected. And one of those teams expected to do well, Alberta, and the 1991 Canadian champion, Kevin Martin, a winner over PEI 8-4. Kevin's with Ray.
Kevin, first of all, thank you for joining me. A very good day.
It was a better day. No complaints.
You got off to a little bit of a shaky start. Let's talk first of all a little bit about maybe the ice surface and your feelings towards the ice.
It's actually getting quite a bit better. We had draws yesterday. We were looking at more around a 12-8, 12-6, that type of thing, hog to hog. Today we're getting draws right up to 13-9. So it's gained at least a second and a half already. So it'll be very good by the end of the week by the looks of things.
It's maybe a little straighter than some players prefer to have it, Kevin. How about you? Do you think this helps your game, or does it hinder your game? How would you feel about that?
It's not bad now. We can bury pretty much with any turn anywhere, which is all you really ask for. There's a few runs in there. It makes it a little bit tricky, a little bit of character, I guess. But it's not bad. It's not compared to what it was on Thursday when we were practicing. I know Bill was the ice maker was quite worried about it, and he's done a good job. It's pretty good now.
Let's talk a little also about the fact that you're back with Kevin Park after a couple of years' absence, and you really seem to be working so well together. It looks like you're having some real fun out there. And Ed Lukowicz told me that your round robin in the provincial playdowns, he'd never seen anyone put together a series of games like you did.
It's nice to hear from Ed. I'm not sure he's telling the truth, but it's nice to hear it.
But having Kevin Park back again must mean an awful lot to your team.
Oh, yeah, for sure. We came close last year, but Ed got us last year. We were together, and then this year we managed to get past Ed.
Thank you very much, Kevin. I wish you all the very best the rest of the week, and thank you again for joining me.
That's Kevin Martin's wife, Shauna, on the left. There, you see her just there, and Kevin Park's wife, Linda, with the little wave to everybody at home, and reason to smile. They win 8-4 here in the 5th round of the Labatt Brier. Exciting. You're on pins and